We are getting closer and closer to the end of the war within, and I have heard a lot of you guys struggling with making gold right now. That is not really the biggest surprise, since the market of the war within has really crashed and the prices is really at the bottom. So today we're gonna look at 3 different ways of making gold, and I hope at least one of them will suit you, so you can also progress towards your goals in terms of gold making. We're gonna talk about farming, crafting, and flipping, and we are going to start out with farming. I will have chapters in the video timeline if you want to jump forward to whatever section that you want to watch. And we're gonna start out with a solo farm that I think is a really good option. Instead of doing the war within farms, you can do this even without war within, and it is going to be a herbalism farm. Okay, so the first farm is going to be located here in Val'Sharah. I am using this route when doing this, so if you want to, I guess you can copy it. By the way, the add-on to do this is called routes, and I'm also using the add-on farm HUD. This gives me the circle here in the middle so I can easily navigate and find nodes. It might look a little bit annoying at the start, but you will get used to it, and it is actually very good while gathering. However, when doing this farm, I am actually not taking the mining nodes. I am not sure, but when I did the testing of this, I found out that I got less gold per hour actually mining instead of just going for herbalism. This is mostly because in Legion you can only enchant your gloves with 1 enchant, and that is going to be Legion herbalism or Legion mining. And I want to go with herbalism because farming the dream leaf is so efficient. So that's what I did. But when doing this farm, guys, make sure that you level up your dream leaf in ranks ASAP so that you can get more herbs while gathering. That is very important, so focus on that, and when you have the rank 2, you are good to go to just farm until you get the quest to get Dreamleaf rank 3. That is going to increase your yield quite a lot. So with the price of Dreamleaf at 9 gold, I was able to pull off 25k an hour here. Currently the Dreamleaf is 8 gold, and with that price I think you're gonna be able to pull off around 20k gold per hour here. Okay, so the next farm we're gonna look at is actually also a herbalism but also a mining farm, and this is located in Vash'jir, which is quite of a weird zone, but this is so good for double gathering. For some reason, druids in travel form here is traveling insanely fast. You can get really good gold per hour here by just swimming around mining and herbing. Sadly, the requirement for the farm though is to be a druid, because that's the only class that is actually just going so fast in this zone while swimming. It is because you have this sea legs buff. I think it's only supposed to work when you are at the bottom of the ocean, but it works in your travel form and you are going so fast here. So make sure you are a druid if you try out this farm. Get cataclysm, mining, and herbalism. And what I do is actually I do this route here in the furthest left zone here, Abyssal Depths. I know that this zone is not the most liked one, but I dare you to try it out because it is actually really good, and I have been pulling around 20 to 30k gold per hour here gathering, so you should at least give it a try and see what numbers you can pull off doing this gathering farm. Okay, so the next farm that we're gonna check out is actually located here in Swamp of Sorrows. Quite a sad zone in my opinion, not my favorite one, but it is offering this Misty Grell imps here that is actually dropping Fellcloth. It is kinda the only item it drops, but you can get quite a few of them by running around here and just farming. I was doing this solo and I was able to roughly pull in 20k gold per hour with a Fellcloth price at 100 gold per piece, and when we did this in a 5-man group we were pulling off 30k an hour easily. But those numbers are based on me with a run speed of 207%, so I have a speed set that is okay-ish at least, so maybe I'm making a bit more gold than you if you don't have it. But of course I recommend going here with a druid. Druid is just king at old content farming, so having a druid is gonna be the best option always. Why these farms that I have gone through here is farms that I recommend is because it looks like the items is going to be used in housing, and housing comes out in 2nd of December, and this has actually quite already increased the demand of the items, and when the housing comes it's probably gonna be even higher demand and stuff will sell even faster. It's totally up to you though if you want to save the items and sell them when the housing is out, or if you want to sell them right now. But I like these farms a lot and they have been really good for me, so this is why I wanted to recommend them right now. Okay, so the prices of the war within market has just totally crashed lately. Leather and stuff is as low as 3 gold, and everything is just going down. Bismuth at 39 gold a pop. This is on the EU market, by the way, if you're wondering, but prices have gone down. It is making us less gold per craft while crafting, of course, because the prices are lower. However, just because the prices are going down doesn't mean that we cannot make profit while crafting, but we just gotta accept that we are getting less gold per craft, sadly. What I highly recommend you to do though, if you have the option to it, is to utilize thaumaturgy. Thaumaturgy is so big at this point of the expansion. It has been all of the expansion, but now you can increase your margins with thaumaturgy quite a lot. It is requiring a lot of points with thaumaturgy, of course, in alchemy, but if you have the option to, it's always good to use it. And why not start working at it now? It's still like 3, 4, 5 months left of the war within, so maybe it's worth starting to work on it right now. Totally depends on what you feel. If you do want to craft though and easily check out what's profitable and not, and what setups you need, I have a gold making spreadsheet in the Discord completely free. So just go into the Discord with the link in the description, go to the gold making resources channel, and you have a gold making spreadsheet which you make a copy of and you can use it yourself. It is going to come an updated version soon as well with huge improvements, which I think you guys are going to enjoy a lot. So that is going to be really nice as well. But let's talk about what I do in terms of crafting to profit in the war within right now, because previously when the demand was higher, when we had a lot higher player base, not Legion Remix, not the last season, not like month into the last season when actually people have already quit raiding and stuff, you could craft 1 item, 2 items, and sit in the auction house and just sell that item, just auction house PvP, get that item sold and make a lot of gold out of that. Now I never ever recommend someone to craft 1, 2 items, sit at the auction house and try to sell it. That will yield you so little gold because you're gonna struggle a lot to sell only 1 to 2 items. So what I do, my crafting process is looking like, I start with thaumaturgy. Of course, this is optional. If you don't have thaumaturgy, you can't do this step. So what I do then, when I have done thaumaturgy, I get a lot of herbs, I get a lot of ores, I get basically every material. I use all of those materials in my other professions. What I do is basically I use all of my herbs in alchemy to get all of the different flasks, even sometimes potions. So already then I have like 4 or 5 different items here that I'm selling. And then I go into my jewel crafter, I prospect all of the ores, I make gems of the gems that I get. I also buy some bismuth to crush to make gems, etc. So, you know, I'm getting a lot of different items when crafting, and this is going to be the key to make the most amount of gold while crafting, especially at this time in expansion. So don't lock yourself in to one profession and try to sell 1 to 2 items at a time. That's going to take way too long time. And sadly, if that is your only option, if you don't have more professions, I would say it is not a good idea for you to actually make gold right now with those professions. If so, I would continue working on other professions and maybe check out the steps we did before with farming or something else that can actually make you way more stable and good gold than just spending a lot of time crafting very few items. So key to crafting, diversify, diversify, diversify. There's also another game of crafting, and that is cross-realm crafting. And this is going to be a little bit intertwined with flipping, but we're gonna talk about the crafting part here first. So if you know or if you don't know, the auction house nowadays is region-wide and not region-wide. So for example, all commodities, everything that stacks in your bag, for example, the ores here, they have 1,000 stack here in my bag, they are on the region-wide auction house. Items that are not on the region-wide auction house, however, is the items that take up 1 spot each. So for example, this Arclight spanner, this is on my server-specific auction house, which is Draenor here. So if I were to buy another spanner, it would take another spot in the bag, and it will also get posted on the server-specific auction house. So what you can utilize with cross-realm crafting is crafting items that is server-specific. This means you can make a lot of gold by moving items to different realms, and moving items to different realms has not ever been easier since you have the Warband Bank. The Warband Bank makes you able to transfer items to other realms by simply just input items into the bank, take them out on another realm. And also you can do that with gold and everything, of course. So that is really easy. So if I want to sell this Arclight spanner on Silvermoon, I just put it in here, go to a character on Silvermoon, pull it out and post it on the auction house. And this you can of course utilize to make a lot of gold, and by crafting stuff very cheap, even at the cheapest possible price, because the mats for crafting is 99% of the time on the region-wide auction house, which means you can craft it at the cheapest possible price on whatever server you're on, because you're buying them materials for the cheapest possible price. But then you can move the item to other realms that has a higher sell price of the items. And guys, I have done this in the War Within. I did this with the profession equipment, like the green ones, you know, rank 5, not the blue ones, but the green ones. It still works, by the way. And I did this and I made millions of gold every week. It was so easy gold. Just craft them at your crafters, move them to a lot of servers and sell them. But items that I highly recommend you to check out to do this now is like toys from all of the expansion. They are really, really good selling. Mounts, if you can craft that. Everything that is server specific, basically, that you can craft, you can move to other realms with higher prices and sell them. Crafted transmog can actually be good as well. I did a test with this. I'm not the biggest fan of transmogs, but it was surprisingly good. However, I only crafted items that had a decent sell rate, so I didn't craft a lot of junk, but that was actually working decently as well. I just want to open up your eyes to this, and this is really easy. Of course, just know that server specific items usually tend to sell slower than materials, of course, because materials just sell instantly. You will need a lot of items to get consistent sales, so just be aware of that. Don't expect too fast sales, but you can expect way better margins on your sales. Like, I have sold a toy that I crafted for 500 gold, sold it on another server for 170k. Of course, this is not something that's going to happen maybe ever, or extremely rarely, but you know, you can craft an item for 500 gold, sell it for 10k easily on another realm. If you have enough items, guys, you're gonna see those sales. I hope this segment was opening up your eyes a little bit on how you can make gold with crafting now. Just want to say again, in terms of setups for all professions, how to make gold with the War Within professions, like the spreadsheet is in the Discord, free to use. Check it out. If you need any help, just ask us in the Discord as well. You will get any help that you need. So I hope this little crafting segment was worth it. But now it's time to look at cross-realm flipping, and this, I would say, is my favorite way to make insane amount of golds, and especially gold per time spent. This can really be scaled and give you huge amount of gold per time spent. This together with cross-realm crafting. Right now, I'm not doing cross-realm crafting because I'm just doing cross-realm flipping, but combining the two is good as well, so you can just do whatever. But we're gonna talk about my process here a little bit. It's so easy to make gold like this, but it requires you to have a good mindset. This might sound a little bit weird, but going into flipping without a correct mindset, you're not gonna be successful. Going into flipping knowing that sales is going to come inconsistently, they're going to come very, very slow, and it's going to take a little bit of time before you can ramp up and get some frequent sales. Like, you gotta know this when going into flipping. There is no idea that you're going to flipping without knowing this and thinking about this, and you should expect around 1% of your items to sell every day. Most likely not even that, but that is what you should expect. Unless you do a lot of rescanning and stuff, maybe you can get more sales, but what I do is basically I just post it once every day and just rake in the sales whenever they come. Now let's go through the process. It's very, very easy when you know how to do it and when you have the correct tools for it. Of course, there are add-ons required for this. You need to have Trade Skill Master. Very, very important. You cannot do this without Trade Skill Master. Then I also use Point Blank Sniper and Auctionator. There are other ways to buy items. For example, you can use Undermine Exchange for finding items that you can buy, or any other website that you can find online that you can easily find and buy items with. But the easiest way, in my opinion, right now, since I have a OP setup for this right now, is using Point Blank Sniper and TSM. My TSM group for flipping and my Point Blank Sniper list that are frequently getting updated, by the way, are on my Patreon. They are sadly not freely available, but you can make yourself a setup like this if you put some effort in and actually try to do it. Otherwise, you can take the easy route, of course, and get my Patreon and get the best setup, and also easiest step-by-step guide ever on how to begin with flipping. Like, I'm so proud of that guide. It's really good. But let's go through how I do this. It's super duper easy. As you can see here, I have a lot of items posted now. This is a little project that I do, by the way. This is not my main flippers. This is just my 0 to 1 million gold with flipping. That's gonna come on YouTube as well. But I'm gonna show you the easy process of this. So the process is, you have your warband bank where you have your items that you can transfer to different realms. Here I have a character where I buy and sell sell on, and I usually call these characters buyers because they are characters that I most often log into when I need to buy items. They are on high full pop realms where you can easily find deals for items. What I simply do then is I open up the auction house, I go to the sniper, and I have my list picked up here. I also have my settings here at DB region sale average and 45%. So I know that any items that getting listed here is not listed for more than 45% of the sale average. These items that getting added here to the list is getting sold on average for 55% more than what I buy it for. So here I can pretty safely buy items that I know I can sell for more on other realms. However, I am also of course a bit picky. I'm only buying items that has an okay sale rate, so I don't buy stuff that has like 0.0001 or not even a sale rate, because those items will very rarely, if ever, even sell. So I'm a bit picky when I pick what items I buy. For example, this one is a really good one. It's a design from the War Within. It has a huge sell rate. This one you can sell fairly easy. I already have 3 of them, purchased 4. One I purchased for 444 gold, as you can see there, and sold it for 7.6k. So that's just flat 7k profit in one item. That's so easy. But yeah, this is how I do it then. I buy items here with my point blank sniper. When I have bought items, I collect them, I transfer them into my warband bank. Of course, I have TSM set up here as well, so I move my items automatically. As you can see here, I just press this move to warband bank, and it's just moving all of my items to the war bank. Then when I'm logging into my other realm, I can just press restock bags, and it will take one of each item that is in the warband bank, fill my bag with it, so I easily can do a TSM post scan, just scan all of the items and post. Of course, now this is just cheapest below minimum here, because this is items that is going to be on another realm, because they're most likely purchased on this realm. It's like really easy, and when you have the tools, this is pretty much automated and like really simple to do. Like I would say this is so much easier than you think. You just need to be a little bit picky with the items that you buy. For example, this item, 150k gold, no sell rate. I wouldn't buy this item ever, because this is never gonna sell. I'm just gonna lose gold here. But looking at other items, for example, the Onyxia scale cloak, really good. I've sold so many of these cloak, it's insane. It is pretty easy to craft, I think. I usually buy them, not for 555 gold though, that's too expensive in my opinion, but I usually buy them and I sell them for so much gold. Like, people can pay so much for items. It's weird. Like, when you start doing this, you're gonna see how weird it is that people is ready to spend so much gold. What you need for doing flipping is, first of all, the mindset. Your items is gonna sell insanely slow, so you need a lot of items. On my main flippers, I have around 2.5 to 3k items, and I make about 500k a week now, but I'm just posting once every day as well, posting it up for 12 hours, then I log out. That's what I do, and I usually have, well, like 1 buy session per week. I'm selling on 10 different characters. It's not that much effort. I would say I spend about right now maybe like 5 to 8 hours a week on those flippers, and I'm not even doing this insanely optimized, but it's just so good with flipping. I don't know a better way at the moment to make gold. It's so good, but of course it's a little bit scary. If you're new, it's a bit scary. Maybe you think, oh, flipping doesn't work, I've tried. You haven't tried hard enough, I can tell you that. And if you don't succeed, you have not tried hard enough, sadly. Not to sound harsh, but like, you just need the correct mindset, and when you have the mindset, you need the correct tools, and then you just need to stay consistent. Now when Legion Remix released, sadly it has been a little bit more down in sales, but that has been for everything, so not just flipping, because the demand has simply just gone down. I hope this video has opened up your eyes though, guys, to some more gold making stuff that you can do now late in the expansion, because it is harder to make gold now, of course, than it is previously in the expansion. So you might have to go to those more gimmicky ways of making gold instead of just going for like the War Within gathering farming, because that is going to give you quite low gold per hour now. If you need any help, any questions, anything, just join up the Discord, ask us in there, or leave a comment below. I'll do my absolute best to help you, so hopefully you can succeed in gold making as well. Much love, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel, road to 20k, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.